What's up, class? Evans here. Today, I want to start a project to make a lampshade. So I already showed you how to do loft and shell something out. I actually had this in mind from my house. It's kind of square based, bigger on the bottom, smaller on the top. It's got some wire framing that we'll need to think about. A lot of lamps that you see tend to be round, but they're all different types of shapes that can be found. So I'm going to leave that part kind of up to you. I'm going to show you how to make the lampshade again. And if you already have yours set up, then I want you to skip ahead to this part right here. First of all, I'm actually going to name it the correct name this time. I'm going to call it lampshade. And I'm going to put my initials at the end of it. So you put your initials. I'm going to hit create. I'm going to put a sketch on the top view, and I'm going to put a center point rectangle. And actually, I'll turn it to the top view so I can see it a little better. So I'm just making a rectangle, and I'm going to put 9, enter 9. Again, if you messed up one of those dimensions and you didn't put it, like for instance, I have both my dimensions here. But let's say you didn't put the second dimension or you forgot both of them, you can just use the dimension tool to put them there. I'm going to hit the green check mark there, and I'm going to come in, click at it so I can see it at an angle, and I need to put in offset. I'm going to offset this thing. I'm going to raise it 8 inches. There we go. Now, double check it's going above because depending, it might send it below for you. So make sure that it's above. And you just click this to flip it. And then I'm going to want to put another sketch on that, but I'm going to click it at the top view to make sure that I get the same center point. So I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to use that center point there, and I'm going to put 6, enter 6. I think that's what I want. That might be okay. But that's going to be more pronounced than the one I did on Monday. All right, so now I'm going to use the loft tool right here, loft. Loft, it takes one shape and projects it into another shape. So I'm going to project from here to here. There is our lampshade, almost. One thing I do need from it is a shell. So I'm going to click shell. This will hollow it out. And I want it to be a 0.1. So once I've clicked shell, it's kind of already assumed to take the shape that's there. I want to click out the faces to remove. I want to click out the top right here. And if I take a look at that, the bottom is still in place. So I need to also click out the bottom part. There. And green check mark. And let me hide that plane. Don't need to see that. There are different types of shapes that you can look at and make. I kind of played around with twisting them. To twist them, I clicked on, by the way, if you're curious, that one. You have to click on match connections, and you have to click to edges or to corners, and have them kind of like crossed from each other so it turns. But I think I'm going to leave that alone. You can go from different shapes. This one is a square to a circle, by the way. So you can pick different shapes for it to go to, and you can kind of see how it handles the geometry of that. But I'm going to try and keep it simple, and you can definitely keep it simple too, and just this simple lampshade right here. But I need at the top of it, there's some wiring. So I'm going to put these wires in here, and then this little circular piece. And the wires need to be, I guess, maybe 1/8 of an inch about. We'll see what looks normal. So right at the top of it, in the very middle. So actually, I think that plane I just made disappear. I'll put another sketch on that plane 1. I think that was. I want to put 2 circles. The first one I want to be 0.4, and the second one I want to be 1. So I'm going to extrude that shape. Maybe it should be less than 1. No, it's 1. And I want to extrude that shape out. It doesn't need to be very big at all. Actually, that might be a problem. We need to put the wiring first, or it's going to create a whole new part. So let me not do that yet. Let me put the wiring in place. So I want to wire from both of these. Again, I didn't extrude that part. I decided to cancel that. So I'm going to create a sketch. And I want this face right here. It's the right face, I think. There we go. So it's probably behind my face, but I'm clicking on here, and I'm going down about the 5th one up, and I'm clicking translucent. It's below tangent edges, but just above zebra stripes, and it's called translucent. So this is kind of showing me it hollowed out, so I can kind of see inside a little better. So I want to put a little circle. See how it's going up from the middle? I keep referencing the middle a lot. A little circle, and it needs to be 0.125. That's in diameter. 0.125, and I want this to be just so close to the top, but not quite. So I think maybe maybe we should make it 0.125 below too. I think that will work well, because I think the circle I'm going to make will be 1/2 inch. Or something like that. So I'm going to make that. It's a really small drawing. And I think we need to hide sketch 3 because it's going to be in the way. And let me kind of zoom in here. And I want to extrude that little small circle we just made. I want it to be symmetric. I don't want it to be new. I want it to be add. And I want it to be symmetric, so it goes both ways. But what's kind of hard is I want it to go up to the next thing. So let's see. I think up to next is what I want. Oh, it's only going in one direction for that. I wonder if we can do up to face. Up to face works too. It just stops right at the face, but it's not going to do it symmetrically. So I think we'll have to do it one at a time. So I'm going to hit the check mark there. And then I'm going to hit extrude again. And let's see if I can just get the end of that face. And then say up to face. Turn it. And I want to click this inside face there. So now I have a bar on the inside. I'm going to want to repeat that to do the other crossways. So I want to hit sketch and get now the front face, and I'm going to do the same thing. Let me look at it from the front view. I'm kind of turned around. You can look at it the front or the back. And I'm going to want a circle that lines up to the center. Notice how it's lining up to the centerpiece here. And I want that to be 0.125. And I want the center of my circle it's hard to zoom in and out without a mouse. There we go. And from the top, I want it to be 0.125 from the top. So they're at the same height. And now I'm going to do the same extrude thing that I did. Hopefully it allows me to select it. So I'm going to hit extrude. We got to try and get sketch 5. I clicked it over here on the side. Right over here, that worked. So I want it to come up to, not blind, but up to face, and I'm going to click this face. Great. Hit the check mark, and then extrude again, click sketch 5 again. It knows what's going on. And I'm going to go send it to face. There. And you know what? I think I might need to turn the translucent thing back off. Did I do it? Oh, I click shaded. There we go. That'll work. Let me go to our sketch 3 and turn that guy back on. And hide my plane one. So now we've kind of made these middle bars right here. So now I want to get this circle done right. So I want to hit extrude. I'm going to click the circle part. I want it to be an add, so it's got to go down. There you go. And let's see what half an inch looks like. Looks a little too thick. Maybe 0.375. Ideally, we'd have this pre-measured. We're just kind of messing around. Let me do, I guess 0.25 might work well. I think that looks pretty good. For some reason, it looks bigger than it should be, but and we could change that. Maybe I will, because the lampshade I'm making is smaller than the one I'm looking at. So I'm going to go back to sketch 3. Yes. Double click sketch 3, and I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to make this 0.3 and 0.75. I like that already. That looks much better. Now, the next thing I need to deal with is I need to cut out those crossing bars. So I'm going to hit extrude, and I want to get just this circle right here. And I want it to remove. And I need to click an angle so I make sure it's going down. It is. Perfect. And that hopefully crossed out all the crisscrossing bars I had there. Looks like it did. Yeah, it looks like it removed it. Great. And I want to get rid of those little bottom shades. I mean, work planes, so it looks better. All right, there's my shade. So make sure that you have the correct name on it, which should be lamp. Lampshade with your initials. And actually, let me show you one more thing. We're going to create a folder, and we're going to call it lamp. And I'm going to put my lamp into it. And now I'm going to put all my lamp things into there. In fact, I'll put my my test lampshade in there. All right, so now join me for making the body of the lampshade.